What's going on, everybody? This is Joe with Ultradyne USA. In this video, I'm going to go over a complete 6.5 PRC build, from the action and barrel to the optic to the chassis system and all the accessories. I'm going to give a brief description of each component and then do a quick assembly and take this gun out to the range. We're going to start at 100 yards and sight it in and get a good grouping, and then we're going to take it out to the 1,000-yard range and even attempt to hit one MOA at 1,000 yards. So let's get started. Starting with the build portion of this video, we're going to start with the action and barrel. This action is a Zermatt Origin. It is a short action, and we have a Magnum bolt face in order to be compatible with the 6.5 PRC that we're going to be shooting. I installed a Timney trigger into this action. It has about a 3-pound trigger pull. For our barrel, we're using a Helix 6 carbon fiber barrel. This is a 6.5 PRC barrel, 1 8-inch twist rate. And at the end of our barrel, we have the Apollo LR. The Apollo LR is similar design to the Apollo Max. It just has a little bit thicker walls in order to be compatible with that increase in pressure with the 6.5 PRC. This Zermatt Origin is a Remington 700 clone, and so we will be compatible with our Remington 700 chassis from Ultradyne. The specific chassis that we're going to be using for this build is the UD7, and this buttstock is the adjustable buttstock. Both of these are Cerakoted and Midnight Bronze, and whenever they're combined, they weigh in at right at 2.5 pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and get the action and barrel installed into the chassis, and then whenever I come back, I'll talk a little bit more about the optic and all the accessories that we're going to be putting on this build. All right, so I got my action and barrel installed into my UD chassis. Now that it is installed, we're weighing in at around 7.5 pounds full rifle. So moving into some of the accessories that I'm going to be putting on this build, we'll start with the UD weight pairs. Each one of these weights weighs in at right at 1/2 pound, and so whenever paired up, they're 1-pound pairs. And so I'm going to be adding 3 of these pairs, so 3 pounds to the rifle. I'm also going to be adding the spigot to the front of the build. This gives us an additional couple inches of Arca rail to use with a bipod. And then at the rear of the chassis with the buttstock, we'll be adding the 2-pound buttstock weight. And so we're adding 5 pounds just in these weights to the build. The final accessory I'm going to talk about is the UD double thumb rest grip. This grip has a nice thumb shelf and a palm swell to give us a nice trigger pull whenever we're doing our shooting. For our optic, we're going to be using the EOTech Voodoo 5-25 first focal plane. This scope has the MD3 MRAD reticle in it, and we have it mounted in the Warren one-piece precision scope mount. So I'm going to go ahead and get this installed on top of my scope base, as well as all of my accessories, and then we'll be looking at right around a 17-pound gun once we have a magazine full of ammo in it. And so for the specific shooting that we're going to be doing, the long-range shooting, that's about where we want it to be. That helps us get nice and steady on target, as well as take some of the recoil away. And the best part about this build is that we can drop all these weights right back off and shed 5 pounds if we wanted to go back down to a lightweight build. All right, I got my scope installed as well as all of my accessories. It was pretty quick and easy using the M-LOK hardware. And so now we're going to take this build out to the range, and we're going to start shooting at 100 yards and get a good zero. And then we're going to see what kind of groupings we can get. And then finally, we're going to take this build to the 1,000-yard range and attempt to shoot one MOA at 1,000 yards. So let's head out there. All right, we made it out to the range with my 6.5 PRC completely outfitted in the Ultradyne system. I went ahead and adjusted my cheek riser height as well as my length of pull to where I needed it to be. And I went ahead and bore sighted this rifle, so hopefully we're on paper whenever we start shooting at 100 yards here in a second. Once I shoot my first shot, I'm going to make my adjustments and get a good zero, and then I'm going to shoot a 5-shot group and see just what kind of groupings we're getting with this rifle. And then we're going to take this directly out to the 1,000-yard range and really put it to the test. Try to get really dialed in at 1,000 yards and eventually shoot 1 MOA at 1,000 yards. For our ammo, we are shooting the Hornady Match 147 grain ELDs, and these will be coming out of the barrel at just over 2,900 feet per second. So I'm going to go ahead and take my first shot at 100 yards, make my adjustments, and then we'll go from there. All right, first shot, it looks like I'm only half a mil right and half a mil high. So, not too bad at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my adjustment here. All right, we'll see where that gets us. That should be close. I'm still gonna go center of mass for this shot until I get a good 0, and then I'm gonna go to one of the corners for my group. All right, overcompensated a little bit. So I'm gonna go back, and all right, let's see where that gets us. Getting pretty close there. I'll take another shot with that one. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the top right target, and we're gonna go ahead and shoot a 5-shot group and see what kind of group we get. Okay, just slightly high. Left to right's getting pretty good though. Looks like it's pushing them a little left. Yep, still a little left. Go with our 5th shot. If we're still over there, I might go about 0.1 or 0.2 mil. Yep. So we're all about 0.1 mil left, but not too bad. We'll get a measurement on that and put that on the screen. But I think we're probably a little over an inch group. So if you do the math, that'd be just outside 1 MOA at 1,000 yards. But we're gonna go try it, try to get a little more dialed in, and then we're going to attempt 1 MOA at 1,000 yards. So let's go. We're out here at our 1,000-yard range, and we're down here by our targets. You might have seen on some previous videos our 3 MOA target. We also just recently set up a 2 MOA and a 1 MOA target, and these will be the first shots we've ever taken at these targets. So the order of events is going to be, we're going to shoot at the 3 MOA, hopefully make impact, and then work our way down to the 2 MOA, and then eventually the 1 MOA at 1,000 yards. So let's head on up to our bench rest where we'll be shooting, and let's get started. All right, we're up here at our 1,000-yard range on our bench rest. I think we're pretty much all set up and ready to go. I have my iPad here with my long shot cameras streaming through it, so I'll be able to see my impacts as I shoot. We'll also have a camera rolling through the spotting scope to see those impacts. I'm using my phone to calculate my ballistics on the Chairgun Elite Plus app. This allows me to input my rifle information as well as my ammunition information. my scope information, pretty much everything I need to calculate my ballistics, and it spit out a number of 6.9 mils at 1,000 yards is what I need to dial for. So that's where I'm going to start, and then hopefully we see some impacts and we're able to fine tune our adjustments and work our way down to the 1 MOA. So let's get started. All right, I dialed my 6.9 mils, and I also forgot to mention that there isn't much wind today, maybe 2 to 3 miles at most, and whenever it is, it's pretty much a tailwind. So we're just gonna hold center of mass. So if wind does end up being a factor, I'll just hold for wind and kind of adjust as we go. But for now, I dialed, gonna hold center of mass, and we'll see where that gets us. All right, impact on the 3 MOA on the first shot. So that's what we were hoping for. We were hoping to hit that on the first shot, but that's not quite as precise as we want to get. So I am going to make a little adjustment. Looks like 1/2 mil in elevation and 1/2 mil to the left is what it needs to go. So I am going to go ahead and dial that. All right, I need to go down range and move my long shot camera real quick to the 2 MOA target, and then I'll come back up here and we'll attempt to hit it. All right, so now I'm going to take my first shot at the 2 MOA target. All right, I wasn't able to see that one through my scope, but after reviewing the footage, it looks like I was just inches low still. So I'm going to go ahead and make a little more adjustment to move it up and to the left, and then we're going to take our second shot. Impact, left side. So I may have overcorrected just a little bit with my left-right, but my elevation looks pretty dang good right now. That was the first impact we've made at 2 MOA at 1,000 yards. And so now I'm gonna go move the camera to the 1 MOA, and we'll come back and attempt 1 MOA at 1,000 yards. Let's see if we can do it. All right, so we've made our impacts on our 3 MOA target and our 2 MOA target. Now we're gonna go for the 1 MOA target at 1,000 yards. We haven't quite been dead middle of either target yet, so we aren't as precise as I wanna be, but I'm gonna make one more slight adjustment, and we're gonna go for the 1 MOA target and see how it goes. So I saw my impact in my scope. That was very close. I think it was about 2 inches off the right, 2 inches low. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a second shot and see if we're consistent over there. That one was just high. So we're 0 for 2 on the 1 MOA target so far. I'm gonna keep holding center of mass. Might have been human error. Let's see, let's go for our third shot. Impact! All right, we are back down here at the targets at the 1,000-yard range. And as you can see, I successfully hit 1 MOA at 1,000 yards. I did it on my third attempt, and so I was pretty happy with that. Even the misses, I think, would have still hit the 2 MOA target. I was right around it. So I was pretty ecstatic for that success. I think that goes to show the combination that we put together with this build was just right between the barrel, the action, the chassis system, the optic, everything made for a pretty solid build. One big thing that helped me out with this is the LR, on the Apollo LR on the end of the barrel. That really made for a flat shooting gun, and so I was able to pretty much see my bullet trace the whole way through the optic, and I was able to see my impacts and spot my misses. And so that made it easy for me to know my adjustments. I think we're gonna do some more shooting with this gun throughout the year, maybe some PRS style matches. And so this was good to see that we could get this precise with it. I'm anxious to see how it performs out in the field. If you guys like this content, please let us know in the comments. Let us know anything else you'd like to see. We'd love to hear feedback from you guys. If you want to keep up with all of our new product releases and more content like this, follow us on our socials or visit our website at Ultradyne USA. I think that's it for this video, but thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.